hearts and remain with your world. Come, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. So, thank you. I was thinking about the light of God and that our world has so many dark places, it seems like. Like probably, if you go back, our lives may have some dark places that the light, the eternal light of Spirit is always on. There is no darkness. We just have to kind of realize that. And when we sing that song, it reminds me that that's the promise that God made when he started this whole thing, is that the light, let there be light, and it was good. And the light is eternal. And so we at least have that one going for us, if nothing else on this thing. We have a affirmation that we do here kind of sporadically about who and what we are, and I think maybe today's a good day for doing that. I'll read it and then we can say it together. We are an authentic, transformative spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. Together. We are an authentic, transformative spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And I think we have a song at the beginning that kind of lines right into that, doesn't it? You want to stand for this? Stand up. This one's got a little rhythm to it.
Call and response thing. I'm going to say a line, and then you guys repeat the line. Kelly, you will be singing with Kelly, so... I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This is the place.
This is the place.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Oh, let it shine.
Let it shine.
Oh, let it shine.
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 So let's see if we can get this not to make feedback sounds. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I was gone last week visiting my grandson in Baltimore, and of course my daughter and son-in-law, you know, they're important too, but the little guy, he's the most important thing, right? And he's just turning 1 year old and beginning to make sounds that almost sound like mama and dada, but you can't quite say that's there yet. And of course crawling all over the place, so, but not yet walking. I said, oh, he will be soon, because he's standing up and holding onto the furniture and doing that kind of thing. So anyway, It was a rough week for me this week coming back. I got food poisoning or the stomach bug or something on the plane. And by the time I got home on Tuesday, I was just a mess. And then my cat is also a mess. She's actually got a tumor and she's going in for cancer radiation tomorrow in Seattle. So it's been a tough week. So when I saw the daily word was grace, I thought, oh yes, that's the word, that's the inspiration I am going to talk about today. And the reason I'm not standing on the other side is because if I get too close to David's mic, but I might walk to the front here. So I looked around for an inspirational poem on grace because I believe I got lots of it on Friday. Felt like a miracle that the cat was not throwing up 3 times a day and was feeling better. And I hadn't given her any new medication or anything. It was just like the prayers were working. It was finally coming together. So I'm really happy. And I found this poem called The Compassion of God's Grace. God's grace is a light, shining bright, a beacon of hope in the darkest night. It's a gift that we do not deserve, a chance to grow and to preserve. God's grace is a sign of his love, a message from above. It's a way to show compassion and to feel a sense of satisfaction. It's a reminder to be kind to those we might not find as easy to understand, but with God's grace, we can. God's grace is a call to stand tall and to recall that we are not alone and that we have a place to call home. God's grace is a way to find the words to say to those who need a helping hand and to bring them to the promised land. It's a way to show our heart and to be a guiding part of the journey that we all share. With God's grace, we can dare. Dare to love, dare to care, dare to show that we are aware of the struggles that we all face and to bring the compassion of God's grace. So let us embrace the compassion and show it with great passion to those who need it most, and to the world we can boast that God's grace is a gift that we should cherish and uplift, and that with compassion we can see a world that's full of beauty. So, now to the daily word, of course, which is grace. I walk in grace and peace today. I give thanks for the activity of God in my life that appears as grace. Yes, I do. This divine gift manifests as the beauty of the world and the people in it, and as the comforting presence of God within and around me each day. I don't have to do anything to earn grace because it doesn't result from my attitude or actions. It flows from the infinite love of God within every person and surrounding every circumstance. It is the indwelling presence that sustains me in challenging times and lifts me in good times. I accept grace with gratitude when I have stumbled along life's path and received unexpected blessings. This boundless love fills my heart with bliss and peace. I live in the presence of infinite love, believing each unfolding event in my life is leading me to my highest good. And from 2 Corinthians, my grace is sufficient for you. Grace.
Yeah, grace, the unearned and unexpected beauty and pleasures that come, and you go like, there's something bigger than me out there, for sure. This is a time of our service now where we prepare ourselves for meditation. We do that through the song of Sanctuary, which we'll use as a bridge to go in and a bridge to come out. So just settle in, let the words flow through you. Realize that each one of us is a sanctuary, not only for ourselves, but for those around us.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
I invite you to take a couple deep breaths. And on the in-breath, say, God is. And on the out-breath, say, I am. So the rhythm is something like this. God is. I am. God is. I am. God is. I am. My I-amness comes from Spirit. The very life force in my body comes from Spirit. And all that Spirit is, in some little part or another, is in me. I am an intricate part of creation. God is. I am. In this quiet moment, we find ourselves profoundly grateful. Sharing a common yearning, a desire to deepen our connection to the spiritual essence of existence. To weave ourselves more intricately into the web of the universe. Together, we acknowledge this gift of shared longing. A desire to be acutely aware of the divine presence that sustains us, breath by breath by breath. It's a realization that in the midst of life's chaos, we are not alone. We are intimately interwoven with a force greater than ourselves. God is. I am. As we walk along the path of our daily lives, we hold dear the intention not to sever this thread of connection with the sacred. Rather, we navigate challenges and uncertainties with the knowledge that this connection is our guiding light, a steady anchor in the web and flow of existence. God is, I am. We may feel stirrings of grace within, compelling us to extend a hand to touch the wounded places in this world, to offer love where there is suffering. Our journey is one of patience and childlike wonder, a path of oneness, openness, and unwavering faith. A mysterious process where we become vessels of healing in the midst of our shared human experience. As we unify, we embrace the spiritual calling, letting love to be the guide and our healer. Together, we affirm our commitment to incarnate the divine presence, nurturing our souls and radiating love to the world. God is, I am. Rest in the silence for a moment as we feel that presence. And in this place, this presence, we offer up our prayers for ourselves, for others, for our shared world. So either spoken silently or aloud, take a moment and offer up a prayer. Something may be heavy on your heart. Let it bubble forth. And let it be known. Included with our prayers are all the prayers gifted to the High Watch prayer team through the prayer box. We lift them up into the arms of Spirit. Knowing that all prayers are answered in one form or another. For highest and best, and during right and perfect timing. This we know and we affirm as we once again sing Sanctuary to bring us back from this place.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
And And so it is, and it is so. Om, amen, and blessed be. I could tee this song up if I may. You tune, I'll tee. So this song will have relevance to the message that I'm about to give, but about a year ago, about 9 months ago, I heard this song at a Sunday service, and it set a whole bunch of things cascading down the road. And so it's called, I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. And it's a statement about, I am the place where God shows up.
And the place where he's showing up now is in this tuning. No, I'll get it. I just noticed in that last little bit of playing that I wasn't quite there. So here we go.
And you're going to join us on the chorus. There you have the words.
Am I strong enough to bear the burden that sometimes comes from living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decision when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing that I have to do on my own, 'cause I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have enough mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing that I have to do on my own, 'cause God is the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place, shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. One more time. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
So, so that started, that song was the Sunday before I started this thing called a Nehemiah retreat. So Unity, the headquarters are in a place called Lee Summit, Missouri, for those of you who don't know. And over the last 20 years, they've been having these retreats to help with ground maintenance and heavy maintenance that the regular ground crew and the maintenance crew can't get to. So what we would do is demolish something or renovate something or paint something. A lot of painting. There's about 350 acres that are completely developed with all sorts of housing and buildings, and it's quite a beautiful complex. If you were in the Kansas City area and you were going to have a prom picture, a wedding picture, a graduation picture, or some other kind of picture, Unity Village is where you go for that picture. They've got gorgeous waterfalls and promenades and the rose gardens. So all that needs to be tended to. So I show up in the spring. There's spring and fall. And in the springtime, generally there's a grounds crew that plants all the annuals, and the whole place gets transformed into color almost overnight. It's just amazing. They have like 3 flatbed semi-trucks full of flowers that show up, and they plant them in urns and then gardens, and we now have a big labyrinth, so the colors around the labyrinth are all put in. It's just amazing. If you get a chance to go to Lee Summit, Missouri, I highly recommend it. It is a cool place. I go there every year. I've been doing this now for about 15 years or so. And over the course of being there for so long, I met some really great people. And there's a group of us that all kind of showed up about the same time. And we've been sticking together. And so one of them is a maintenance guy named Floyd Pearl. And Floyd's a good old Missouri boy. He is grounded in red dirt. You're never going to leave Missouri unless it's taking him out in a pickup truck. You certainly won't fly. But the salt of the earth, and really a nice guy. And I end up staying at his house, and he lives in the house that Charles Fillmore used to live in, one of the co-founders, after Myrtle passed away. So anyway, there's all this steeped in history stuff. So we went to Unity of Kansas City North on the Sunday prior to starting work on Monday. And this song was sang. Now, half the congregation, probably 2/3 of the congregation came from a Baptist background. So when this song came on, man, they just rocked this building, right? And that chorus line, I am the place where God, never got out of my head. In fact, it still hasn't got out of my head a year later. Yeah. In fact, that's why I have it today, because it is a really interesting statement about, we are the place. What's it say in the Bible? It says that God can't do to us what God has to do through us. We are the actual embodiment of spirit. So, sure, that makes sense. And if we don't show up, we're just doing our daily day and don't shine our little light in some of those dark places, we're not doing the work that we're, I think, sent here to do. So anyway, this thing just grabbed me by my head, and it still does. So when I got to the village and it was with Floyd, Floyd lives on a piece of property that's kind of on the edge of the village property, severed by a pretty major road. And there was a chunk of land that Unity has sold to the town of Lee Summit for an industrial park. And they're taking out all of the usable pieces of things that were in this, probably about 70, 80 acres of land. And one of which was one of those prefab stand-up metal carports. This is a two-car carport, so it's about, probably at the peak, maybe 15 feet high. Big, it's 20 by 20. So we were going to take it from this house where it's at and locate it to Floyd's place. So it made it easy because I was living at Floyd's place, so I didn't have to leave after I got done with my day's work. Anyway, and I had just erected one, a smaller one at our house, and so I knew something about how you put one of these things together, and I didn't know how to take one apart, but it was just put it together in backwards, so I figured that was pretty easy. One of the things you need to do, though, is as you take these things apart, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle. They need to go back the way they came, so if you miss something and don't get it right in one place, it exacerbates itself all the way down the line. So, one of the things that I do when I go to the village, and I started this actually when I did a vision quest years ago, but is to set an intention. What is my intention for being here in order to be in sacred service? And I always just kind of have a little conversation with Spirit and say, look, just give me a sign. Make sure that I'm walking the path that I ought to be walking, and this makes sense somehow. So I just open myself up and then drop that into my subconscious, and then just see what flows for the rest of the week. So I set my intention, and my intention was to look for a sign and just to be in a place of awareness. And there's so much in a place like the village where it's at the home of Silent Unity. They've been praying there for a couple hundred years. I mean, it's holy ground. It's really what it is. And the things that we do makes a visible difference right away. You slap a coat of paint on, it changes things. And so we had the opportunity then to really take a look at whether or not this service, how it does it, and is it really, what is the sacredness of that service, and who does it serve, and all those kinds of things. So, today's talk is God is, I am, a parable. A parable is not two bulls. It's a parable is just a short story, so it may have a lot of bull in it, actually. So anybody know what this thing is? You probably can't see it from back there. Well, that's good. This is a screw. This is a screw. But it's a unique screw. It's a self-tapping screw. So of all the screws in the screw box, there is only one self-tapping screw if you've got a conundrum of screws. My house and my shop, I have a drawer, a little drawer that's this big, about that deep, full of screws, nuts, and bolts. Every time I do a project, I always have some extras, and they go in there. And if I need something on the fly, it's in that silly box or that drawer, and I can pull it out. It takes a while to find it, but it's there. But this is a self-tapping screw, and it is unique in the screw family. It's the only one of its kind, that design. And what's unique about it is it drives its own pilot hole before the threads hook in. Now, if you're working on a structure the size of this carport, having a self-tapping screw is really handy because you can screw and it'll cut through the metal into the framework, and then the threads can grab in and it'll hold itself. This one also happens to have a little rubber gasket, so you could use it on the top or to seal water out and that kind of stuff. So I was thinking about this thing. So the screw doesn't require any pre-drilling. But its function is to be part of the structure. In fact, it's an integral part of the structure. And it is self-tapping, which means it's designed to connect into something else. It's not just a screw, right? There is a moral to this story. It's going to get there.
Yeah, where are you going?
Yeah. So I was thinking, God, isn't that kind of like us? Isn't that really what we are, is self-tapping screws? Yeah, huh? Uniquely designed to consciously connect with our Creator. We have the ability to tap into Spirit. Now, the other things out there in the manifest world, I don't know about. But I do know that uniquely, we have the ability to tap into Spirit. And in fact, Spirit is operating all the time, and unless we tap in, we don't get to see it, and we don't get to flow with it. So I'm thinking, wow, we're like a bunch of self-tapping screws around here. It gets better. So this structure, as we took it apart, had well over 200 self-tapping screws. Every one of them, same size, same shape, and they had all these different things that they did. So at the bottom was a base, and there's a pretty big, thick, probably a 6x6 piece of metal tubing, or square shape, anyway. And so that was at the beginning, and then those sections had to be screwed together so they didn't come apart, and then the upright support places had to be screwed on so that you could hook the uprights on. And then the uprights go in, you screw those on, and so now you got some ribs, and then you get them to go all the way across, so now you have a rafter. So if you can visualize, you got the sidewall and a rafter and up to the top. And then all these things are they're all hooked together with self-tapping screws. And then the sheathing goes on. That's the last thing that goes on. And it starts on kind of on the side and works its way over or across to the top. And it really isn't until the very last screw goes in that the structure gains all of its strength. It's still wobbly, but when we drove that last screw in the last piece of sheathing, it just goes like that. Who knew, right? And I was thinking, isn't like that was what Spirit does with us? This thing that took shape couldn't have happened without a self-tapping screw. And it couldn't have happened without that screw actually doing this function, hooking into something stronger than itself, something bigger than itself. The divine, Spirit, whatever it could be, but something bigger than itself. And then all of those screws played a part in making this thing happen. And so over 250 of these little guys got together as buddies and decided to build this structure. And the thing about it is, it wouldn't work if that screw didn't decide to, A, be unique, and B, decide to show up. So that was my aha moment as I was putting all these things together, doing my last screws, thinking, wow, this is really an important piece of the puzzle. And so are we. We are so important to this whole thing. Sometimes we don't feel like it. Sometimes we feel like we don't have any purpose. And it's just life goes on and we just do our thing and then we die. You know? But I don't know that that's really the truth. I've had too many people in my life say something to me like the effect of, wow, you already had this impact on me. Or I've had people that have impacted me. I had a professor who was really struggling in college, And I went to him and I said, look, I'm smarter than this. You know, I should be able to get that. I don't understand what's going on. I got this, you know, student block or whatever it was. And he said, well, you know, just think of every class as a language. Every subject has its own language. So philosophy has a language, and logic has a language, mathematics has a language. Just consider it like a language. Just think of it. Once you understand the vocabulary, then you can parrot it back, and you can understand the concepts. The concepts make sense. You've got to understand the language of it. Well, for me, now, for you, probably doesn't make any difference. For me, it was all the difference in the world. Absolutely all the difference in the world. It changed my whole perception about being a student and what I was doing and what I was learning and how to learn it. And, you know, my grades changed and all the good things that came out of it. A guy named was Hollowell. Anyway, years later, he showed up in Port Townsend. He sailed in, I think. And I saw him. And unfortunately, he passed away right after I saw him. But I saw him and I said, gee, yeah. What you told me, I mean, I can't thank you enough. And he goes, what are you talking about? And he said, well, you know, you told me, I said, I did? And he said, yeah. And he said, it changed my whole life. Holy cow, oh, good, I'm glad I did, right? That's what teachers are for. Right. Anyway, back to the screw. I don't want to get too far off here. So, because the screw all by itself can't do a whole lot, it needs to be connected in. And it needs to be connected with something that's bigger than itself. It needs to be connected as part of the whole. We just said that our affirmation at the beginning, we're a spiritual community co-creating with the divine to make a world that works for all. That's our screwness. That's our purpose that we get out of this. If you think about the 12-step programs, all of the 12-step programs have a part of it where you give whatever is going on, the condition, the addiction, the circumstance, up to a higher power. And really to plug into that higher power, to raise it above what we can deal with. Oftentimes we get mired in the circumstance and we can't see above it. And that's what Spirit does the best, because Spirit is way above those circumstances. This too shall pass. Spirit can see that. All things work together for good. Spirit has that under control. We can't see that at times. And I know when I get particularly mired in, that's not the first place I go well, it is now, but it wasn't the first place I go. I tried to fight or flight it. And it just doesn't work. And finally, when you get to that place where you need that help, and when you know the dark night of the soul, you get on your knees. Grace is there, and grace is there to lead us home, to bring us out of that. So our ability as with the self-tapping screw is exactly that: is to connect in and be part of this greater thing and to show up. The other thing is, in the showing upness, is the screw doesn't do any good sitting in a box, and neither do we. So if you think about what our purpose here is on the planet, what our purpose of life is, what our purpose of being a human is, and how do we express that love and that purpose, we got to get out and show up in whatever form we have. We all have unique talents and abilities, each one of us. And if you put them all together, we make beauty. Individually, we could do a certain amount. But collectively, we can do a whole lot, just like a self-tapping screw. So, let's see. So what do we got about the screw? Well, it's unique in the screw family. It adds to shape and form. It contributes to the whole. It's got to connect to a bigger structure for it to work. It just doesn't work without it. And it doesn't work by sitting in a box. The song that we sang earlier is about really getting out of the box. Because we are, when we're out of that box and we're tapped in, we're strong enough, we're wise enough, we have enough to live a life, a full life of grace and wholeness. It's all waiting for it to manifest. We just need to show up, tap in, and do our thing. Song also says we don't have to do it alone. We have a partnership with the universe. And that partnership is ready at any time we ask for it. We tap in. Because you are, I am, we are the place where God lives and shows up. How's that go, Ron? Do you remember how that went?
I am the
Place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Hey, I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the
lives,
place.
moves and breathes and has
We
its
are the
being.
place.
I am the place where God shows up.
I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are
lives,
the place.
moves and breathes and has
We
its
are the
being.
place
I am the place where God shows up.
Well, I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. One more time. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
Thank you. Oh, let's see here. Where are we at? Are we going to do another song? Do you want to do the
Yes,
song, or
that's
have we
what's
got
next.
time? Okay, let's go for it.
If we want to, we can.
So I'll sit down, shut up, and you go for it.
Okay. I feel the Spirit moving in me. 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 I feel the presence. I feel the presence moving in me. 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 I feel the joy 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 moving in me. I feel the love 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 moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. the Spirit moving in me.
It says no signal, and then it says you can connect to the source. Well, we won't do that right now, but see, this thing never quits. You know? There's always a sign. Good.
Now we come into the time in our service where it's time for the offering. So please with me take out your offering and let us say our saying that we say every week, which is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me. I'm so grateful.
Ah, sweet, sweet Spirit, Mother, Father, God, with whom we live, move, and have our being. All that we are, all that I am, all that I will ever be is founded with my connection with the divine, with that place of sanctuary, quietude, where the still small voice speaks. Every one of us on this planet, in this form, has that same connection, regardless of how we may express it. Our job really then is to express it in such a way that every person is lifted up, a world that works for all. So we receive these gifts and we send them forward to this community, the larger community, and across the planet, that each person may find that unique expression of themselves, which is the divine, and come from that place, live in that place, be that place, be that light, the eternal light of the Spirit shining within each one of us, and illumine all of our dark places, individually, collectively, and as a whole. And we do that. We create heaven on earth. And let us do that in our lifetime. So it is. Amen. Thank you much. Please.
All righty, and now it's time for announcements. So, do we have any visitors here today? Any new folks coming to visit? I think most of you have been coming for a while. So happy to see you all. I think Jeff might be new today. So, welcome you, and we have welcome packages if you would like. They're up by the out in the narthex area out there in the foyer. So they have chocolate in them, in case you're thinking that a nice little piece of snack there. Remember, Beverly takes great pride in putting everything on our website, so there's lots of things there, updating calendar, all of that lovely stuff. The new daily words are now available both small and in large print in the bookstore, so if you don't get a subscription, they're out there in the lobby. Today's High Watch Prayer Chaplain is Mary Dean, and she's available after service to sit with you in the prayer chapel and pray with you on any concerns that are heavy on your heart. And please put any other prayer concerns into the prayer box. I tell you, they really do work, because my daughter, I prayed and put things in the prayer box about her finding a new job once they moved to Baltimore. And while we were there this week, she got the job offer from Johns Hopkins. And I am just so excited. It's the job she really, really wanted to have. And it's great. And then, of course, my great-grandson is doing wonderful. My normal grandson, not a great-grandson. I'm not that old yet. Oi, not sounding right here this morning. And, of course, he's a great little guy. That's what he is. That's what he is. And all these wonderful things are going on. I want to bring 3 important things to your attention. There's a kirtan this week, October 25th, so that's Wednesday, 7 to 9. The Festival of Lights is in planning stages right now, and we have lots of people who have signed up to lead each little area. And as I keep saying, many hands make light work, and you are all God's hands and feet on this planet. So yes, we are tapping screws. We are individuals that when we all get together, we make a wonderful festival of lights. So please, please look at the sign-up sheets. Talk to myself or Diane Vox, who are co-coordinators this year. Let's get you to make cookies or soup or help decorate or all the things that we need to make this happen. And then the final thing here is that we had planned an Indian dinner on November 12th, which is the festival of Diwali in India. And it is a festival of lights from India, because it's in their calendar, that is when the light changes, okay? So if you are interested in helping to set up or to help serve the food, Mukesh and Beverly are very interested in having you talk to them. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort, just a little bit of time setting up the tables and helping serve some food. And of course, we're gonna start selling tickets next week. So please make sure that if you love Indian food, this is definitely, we've had one before and it's been a wonderful, I don't think I have ever tasted so many different interesting Indian food dishes, and I believe they're all vegetarian. So it's amazing. A great way to try something new and different and celebrate another culture's festival of lights. So please consider that, and that will be on the 12th. It will actually be on a Sunday, so we're going to have it after, probably in the late afternoon, early evening on Sunday the 12th. So keep that on your calendar. And of course, Mia Kelly's doing this thing, energizing your spirit and opening your heart. That's Wednesdays. There's the sound bath coming up on Thursday, satsangs, all sorts of stuff. So keep that in mind. And I believe that's the end. Of course, we all are saying great prayers for Pam and Lane as they are supposed to have arrived in the U.S. today, probably Florida, because they were coming back on a ship and then they're going to be flying home. So hopefully the rest of their transit is wonderful and they don't get sick on the way home like I did. And, you know, it would be great to see them all this coming week and next Sunday. So I think that's it. I think we're ready for all of us to form a circle and sing. So please gather around.
So as self-tapping screws,
brain.
Yes, I do.
On the brain.
If you think your screw's loose, you just got to tighten it up a bit.
And if you screw up.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as Creator. United all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a great week, everybody. Here we go. Let's get this thing to ring. There we go. All right. Have a great week.